Tzu Chi volunteers bring love and care to a family of a mistakenly killed soldier. Tzu Chi Elementary School children visit an orphanage in West Jakarta to cultivate their compassion for the needy. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan, a military serviceman was mistakenly killed when he was on his way back to the barrack. After his passing, his family is now facing financial problems because he was the main breadwinner of his family. To help them get through the tough times, Tzu Chi volunteers have come to care for them. When Tzu Chi volunteers revisit this family, the elderly couple feel like they were meeting old friends. Talking about her 23-year-old grandson, the grandmother feels heartbroken because when her daughter-in-law left home, her grandson was still a baby. Their grandson fulfilled his filial duties as every time he was on vacation, he would return home to care for his elderly grandparents. Because his father is blind in one eye, he served as a volunteer military to support the whole family. He started to serve in the military since he was 18, but he was mistakenly killed.
If you have any difficulties and need our help in the future, we will do our best to help you.
While his father was busy preparing for his funeral, the volunteers have been accompanying his grandparents.
The soldier surnamed He was the financial pillar of the family. After the accident, we will uphold the spirit of compassion and mercy, continuing to care for his father and grandparents.
The volunteers will continue to provide care and supports for this family, helping them get through the tough times. TIMA Northern Taiwan chapter went to Jinmen to conduct regular free clinics. This time they also went to the Songpoyuan Long-Term Care Center for the elderly and provided a variety of medical services.
After half a year, TIMA Northern chapter came back to Kinmen again to conduct free clinics. Their first stop is the Long-Term Care Center for the elderly. Consider that most elders are on a wheelchair, volunteers creatively design the clinic facilities. For example, this design here allows the wheelchair to be turned into a dental chair.
Us doctors from TIMA Northern Chapter came to Jinmen to provide more and broader services for these seniors. This is also helping us to cultivate ourselves.
To meet the patient's needs, the medical team has taken care of many details. This handheld visual scan equipment which Dr. Guo Fengru is holding enables many elders who are not able to leave the bed to receive eye exams in the bed.
I've told the equipment company that I'm buying this for the free clinic, so they gave me a special discount. It's about $2,500 US, not very expensive. The money is not an issue. I feel happy and fortunate in my life, so I should help more people in need.
Su Yiwen, who just graduated from the nursing school of Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology last year, had worked in Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital for less than a year. She signed up to join the free clinic this time, and the experience has reminded her of the elders in her own family.
Seniors need their family's companionship in life, so I try to go back to visit them as much as possible. As a nurse, I spend most of my time taking care of others, but I can't take care of my own family anytime they need me.
TIMA's regular visits have secured the health conditions of these seniors in the long-term care center.
Tzu Chi volunteers have also been caring the seniors as a long-term care center in Beitou for 2 years. Let's join them on the recent visit.
As kindergarteners arrive at the long-term care center with Tzu Chi volunteers, they are welcomed by everyone. They then help massage the elderly.
We hope that the children and the elderly can accompany each other. Tzu Chi volunteers have made this possible. As the elderly see the children, they are so happy. We cannot make them so happy with our treatments.
Tzu Chi volunteers lead the elderly in doing some simple exercises.
In the beginning, we were afraid to interact with the elderly as we don't know how. However, after 2 years, the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters can now interact with the elderly very naturally. As the elderly feel our friendliness, they are also willing to share their feelings with us.
There are some old songs. Although my father is hard of hearing, he can still hear a little bit. I will sing next to his ears and he will be very happy.
The volunteers come once a month and they hold many amazing activities.
The volunteers also perform Taiwanese opera for the elderly. For these elderly, the performances bring back a lot of wonderful memories.
As the Southern Hemisphere is currently experiencing winter, Tzu Chi in South Africa has begun their winter aid distribution since the end of May. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Johannesburg went to the Puffontein area of Benoni City to hand out winter supplies for the impoverished population. After winter set in South Africa, the temperature has begun to drop rapidly. Tzu Chi volunteers in Johannesburg came to the Puffontein area of Benoni City to distribute winter supplies for 665 households.
The support that the foundation is providing to the communities, it's making me feel happy, and even parents are feeling happy because they're going to get support for food and clothing because we're going for winter now.
The venue of the distribution was set up at Wunenzen Primary School because almost all the people who came to receive the supplies are the students' parents. Each family can receive 2 bags of rice, soaps, and shoes.
When you use this rice, okay, and it's not only the winter to keep you warm, and also I want you to feeling the love from overseas. There's a lot of people involved.
The distribution today was very successful. Seeing that the children and parents show gratitude and happiness on their faces, we also felt very happy because we were able to help them.
Durban Tzu Chi volunteers also made a regular visit to Eswatini in May. Other than visiting Tzu Chi care recipients, the volunteers also attended the Buddha Day ceremony with local volunteers, celebrating the 52nd anniversary of Tzu Chi. The volunteers from Durban conducted their 54th cross-border visits to Eswatini. The volunteers who are Christians sang a hymn together, kicking off the event. This time, the cross-border visits coincided with the 52nd anniversary of Tzu Chi Foundation. The team from Durban and the volunteers in Eswatini went together to listen to Dharma teachings as well as attend the Buddhist pilgrimage. At this moment, they are the disciples of Master Zhen Yan. Of all the activities during the 3 days, the most important one was the Buddha Day ceremony. This year, the Buddha bathing platform was decorated with lotus flowers, fragrance water, and candlelight. The local senior volunteers guided the participants to pay tributes to the Buddha. The volunteers also shared the changes they had made after they joined Tzu Chi.
After I joined Tzu Chi in 2012, my life began to change. At first, I thought I would earn some money, but later I felt the experience I had learned was more meaningful than making money.
Actually, I didn't understand what my mother was doing and why she did things for other people all day long without getting money. Later, my mother told me that it is a kind of selfless giving which makes people happy. After that, I began to follow my mother to volunteer with Tzu Chi. I eventually understood where such happiness came from.
The next day after the ceremony, the volunteers visited Madinani, who had been bedridden since childhood. 90-year-old Zela holds the red envelope of blessing and wisdom in her hand, feeling the blessing she has received from volunteers.
Gogo, nasibusiso sakho gogo. Utawuthandaza ke gogo ngalesibusiso sakho lesi.
Although the volunteers who participated in the home visits also have a hot life, they feel rich and content in their hearts through the acts of giving. supporting children's growth, the companionship of parents is crucial, but not every child can be so fortunate. In Indonesia, Tzu Chi Elementary School children recently visited an orphanage in West Jakarta to care for the orphans as well as to learn from them.
45 students from Tzu Chi Elementary School have come to Asusha Kasim Malia Sejati Orphanage for a lesson outside the classrooms. They brought a lively atmosphere to the orphanage. Before the activities officially begin, the students and orphans have already befriended each other.
Tujuan utama kami adalah membangun empati.
Our main goal is to nurture students' compassion. Not only do we learn theories, but we also take actions to cultivate our gratitude and loving kindness.
Juga berbagi kepada sesama.
The garden is filled with vegetables planted by the orphans. The orphans also give the teachers and students a guided tour of the place, which they clean and maintain.
Menurut saya,
after the tour, I've discovered that they are very independent, despite not having their parents around them. I want to learn from them and be independent.
juga mau ikutan mandiri kayak mereka.
Perasaan aku sedih untuk anak-anak itu, tetapi
my heart goes out to them. I'm glad to be able to come care for them. I feel for their situation. Fortunately, they are staying at the orphanage, where food and boarding are provided.
Dapat makanan, dapat minuman, dapat tempat tidur.
Harapannya sih anak-anak di sini dengan melihat.
I hope through everyone's encouragement, the students will become passionate about learning and become obedient children.
Jadi anak yang baik, jadi anak supaya mereka berhasil.
Since the visitors are also children, they quickly blend in and play together. The Tzu Chi school students perform a sign language song, delivering their best wishes for the children at the orphanage.
After the 2014 gas explosion in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, Sanxing High School of Commerce and Home Economics offered the campus for Tzu Chi volunteers to conduct disaster relief. Since then, the volunteers have continued to share Jingzi aphorisms with the teachers and students.
Tzu Chi volunteers on the stage are leading the faculty to dance together because they're here to receive Jingzi aphorism books. A whole series of books are a gift for teachers and students in Sanxing High School of Commerce and Home Economics. Actually, Jingzi aphorisms have already played a role in their lives already.
My favorite phrase is anger is temporary craziness. This reminds me that I must calm myself down first when children make mistakes.
Not only the teachers, even the principal is taking the Jingzi aphorisms as sustenance for her mind and soul.
When I'm very busy at work and feeling very annoyed, I would take time to read the Jingzi aphorisms. Just one phrase can make me feel better. I believe that when teachers teach this, it will not only help the students, but also benefit themselves as well.
Many years ago, after the gas explosion in Kaohsiung, Sanxing High School of Commerce and Home Economics opened a campus for Tzu Chi volunteers to conduct disaster relief. The close relationship has continued since then.
I'm very grateful for the school's giving at that time, so I want to do something in return. I hope the school can launch the teaching of Jingzi aphorisms soon so the love and goodness can continue to cycle.
The Jingzi aphorisms not only can nourish the teachers' hearts, it can also give the students a more positive influence.
In Malaysia, since Tzu Chi Malacca chapter established the DaAi Kindergarten in 2001, there are volunteers who have helped the teachers care for the children. Among the volunteers are 2 women who have been serving in the kindergarten for over a decade. These 4-year-olds are full of curiosity about everything in the kindergarten, making the teachers busier, so they need volunteers to help.
They're only 4 years old, so they don't understand anything. The volunteers help me sort the children's books and nearly arrange them in the back of the classroom. Whenever she comes, she helps me clean and watch the children doing the dishes. This way, it's safer for the rest of the children because I can stay in the classroom to care for them.
The person that the teacher refers to is the DaAi mother at the kindergarten, Lee Seo-in. Since 2002, Miss Lee comes to help 2 days a week, and to many people's surprise, she has been serving for 16 years.
I really enjoy caring for the 4-year-old children because they're innocent. They're also obedient as they listen to everything we have taught them.
80-year-old Lu Kuai Feng has been caring and accompanying the children for over a decade, and she never complains about being tired.
They used to call me mother. Now, since I'm getting older, the children call me grandmother.
I always ask DaAi mother to help me maintain the order and have the children stand in line. It's really important to have DaAi mothers to help out with activities. We really need them.
They're just like our own grandchildren. Actually, I have only one grandchild, but here I have many grandchildren.
The DaAi mothers take care of the kindergarteners as their grandchildren, making their later years full of warmth and joy. Turning our camera back to Taiwan, interior ceilings can also be transformed into vegetable gardens. This creative idea came from a graduate student at Chaoyang University of Technology. She spent 1 year developing the skills of growing vegetables and potted plants in the water on ceilings. Growing plants in the earth and water is common sense, but these potted plants have actually been planted on the ceiling. This is the creative idea of Zhong Peishan, an architectural student at Chaoyang University of Technology. The idea came from her 85-year-old grandmother who has colon cancer.
Problems of food safety and residues of pesticides are leading causes of her poor health, so her health issues have inspired me to have this idea.
Her grandmother had no choice but to stare at the ceiling every day during her stay in the hospital. It inspired Zhong to grow potted plants and non-toxic vegetables on the ceiling to help improve her grandmother's health. But it's a big challenge for her to carry out this idea, as she had failed many times in a year.
During the process, I had the chance to evaluate myself and find out my shortcomings. I realized that these problems should not exist since I have already grown up.
As the potted plants are planted upside down, the water will leak out. After discussing several times with her instructor, she installed a tube in the PET bottle and inverted the plants directly into the tube.
We made the roots reach out from the back and to the outside of the tube. The outside of the tube is actually where the container, which holds cultivation liquid, is located. The roots can still be reverted to absorb water, but the water will not seep into the tube because we have a water barrier.
Some lights have been placed at a distance of 10 centimeters away from the plant so that they can naturally grow down toward the light source due to phototropism. Zhong Peishan hopes that everyone can create their own vegetable gardens on the ceilings of their home. Most of jasmine flowers are planted in Zhanghua's Huateng Township. However, in recent years, imported tea is much cheaper. This has led much of Taiwan's jasmine tea, which relies on high labor costs, to be replaced. Many are now trying to find a new way for local jasmine, as organic farming is offering a potential option.
Jasmine tea gives off a wonderful fragrance, but the scent does not come easily. If you want to make jasmine tea, you have to pick the flowers just before they bloom. Zhanghua's Huateng Township, in its peak, planted a total of 180 hectares of jasmine. But in recent years, this amount has declined to just 30 hectares. While this area still tops in terms of output in Taiwan, as it accounts for some 80% of production.
Many of our generation were raised by growing jasmine.
Walking in these fields of flowers brings back many childhood memories.
小时候就采茉莉花长大的，
所以我们不希望说小时候这一份情感、这份记忆就此没有了。
These native-born farmers have witnessed the ups and downs of the jasmine trade and have been thinking about how to keep this tradition in this area.
We're all children of the earth. We know that before we grew jasmine, we didn't drink this tea. We hope to grow in a safe and toxin-free way, as we want to start with ourselves as an example.
Despite the emotional appeal of this industry, many people are worried that such a path couldn't be undertaken.
When I first started promoting organic jasmine farming the first year, I held an introductory briefing and was surprised that nobody wanted to join.
My 300 square meters of land could produce 180 kilograms in a single day, but now I can produce only a few dozen kilograms a day.
Using pesticides on these flowers also pollutes the environment, as better farming practices call upon farmers not to use pesticides, as experts make many visits to local farmers.
Going organic when it comes to this flower production is in fact quite difficult.
When jasmine is picked, it needs to be processed the same day. Many of these small and almost invisible bugs need to be picked out manually. When worms eat the flowers, they have to be discarded, and those in bloom also have to be thrown out, along with those that are too mature or too old, and even those too young. The screening process for jasmine is quite strict, and there cannot be impurities along with leaves. Also, it has to be done quickly before the flowers bloom.
In the evening, all the jasmine flowers reach their peak flavor, which is the highest standard for excellence.
The most optimal time is found to pair the jasmine with tea.
保有透气性的，因为我们茶跟花都需要呼吸。
The following day at dawn, after being stirred 2 times, the jasmine and stems need to be picked out of the tea by hand.
会影响它的口感，因为花会有苦涩。
These hardships, along with an adherence to rigorous organic standards, are allowing this tea to finally achieve an important market segment. Though there's only limited supply which can't meet demand, this trade is now helping revitalize the hometown of jasmine in Taiwan.
希望我这个名号可以打响，把我们在地的一些情感再融入。
因为阮花坛才有啊，嘿啦。
Taiwan's Environmental Protection Bureau is now promoting the use of reusable straws. It provides each local store with 30 reusable straws and cleaning brushes, encouraging the public to reduce the use of plastic straws.
The
store owner encourages the customers to stop using plastic straws. While the store owner is willing to implement Environmental Protection Bureau's new policy, how about the customers?
This benefits the next generation as it does not create pollution.
When I first tried using them, the customers could get a bit nervous as they think the glass might easily break, but it does not break easily and it is very clean.
Using reusable straws, one has to spend more money and clean the straws. Environmental Protection Bureau of Tainan starts to provide local stores with reusable straws and cleaning brushes in June.
We estimate that in months we can reduce the use of about 150,000 plastic straws.
While 100 plastic straws cost less than 10 NT dollars, a reusable straw might cost more than 100 NT dollars. In addition, reusable straws need to be cleaned. Despite that, some stores in Tainan have already been using reusable straws.
Although we need to spend time cleaning the reusable straws, we are doing this to protect planet Earth. Most customers can also accept this.
I thought about bringing reusable straws with me, but I sometimes forget about it.
As store owners hope to encourage their customers to help protect the environment, they believe that with a strong will, people can change their habits.
Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to attend the annual Wesak Day held by a local Buddhist association in Serdang, Malaysia. We will leave you with these images. See you next time.